Episode 1: The Trust Factor. How to know if your advisor is truly on your side. Welcome to If the Public Only Knew, the podcast where we take you behind the scenes of financial advising. My name's Gary Cinderbrand, and today we're exploring a critical question. How do you know if your financial advisor genuinely has your best interests at heart? Let's face it, trust is a big deal when it comes to managing your money. But trust shouldn't be something you give blindly. It's something you should feel, verify, and continually reassess over time. Today, we'll dig into what makes an advisor trustworthy, why it matters, and how you can tell if your advisor truly has your back. All right, let's start with why trust is so essential in the advisor-client relationship. Think about it. When you work with a financial advisor, you're entrusting them with your money, your goals, and sometimes even your family's future. That's no small thing. But here's the kicker. Unfortunately, not all advisors are created equal. Some might have motivations that don't align with your best interests. So the goal of today's episode is to help you navigate that. First, let's look at 3 key indicators that you can use to assess whether your advisor is truly someone you can trust. And remember, trust isn't just about gut feeling. It's also about observing their actions and ensuring they're aligned with your values. Let's start with transparency, an absolute must in any advisor-client relationship. Your advisor should be upfront about everything, especially fees. No one wants to talk about fees. I get it, but it's essential. Ask your advisor, how do you get paid? If they dodge the question, or give a vague answer, that's a red flag. They should be clear on whether they're paid by commission, if they're fee only, or if they have some hybrid model. The reason this is important is that fee structure can affect their recommendations. If they're earning a commission on certain products, it could influence what they suggest for you. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but you need to be aware. For example, let's say they're recommending a particular mutual fund. You have every right to ask, is there a fee attached to this? Or is there an alternative that doesn't have a commission? An advisor who has your best interests at heart will have no problem answering these questions transparently. Now, the second major factor in a trustworthy advisor is their ability to align with your goals. A great advisor should make you feel like your financial future is the priority. Let's say you walk in with a dream of retiring in the mountains or setting up a college fund for your kids. The first thing they should be doing is listening, really listening, to understand what's most important to you. Too often, people report that they feel rushed into making decisions or that the advisor is pushing them toward products without understanding their goals. That's a sign they're putting their interests ahead of yours. A trustworthy advisor will ask questions to get to know you, and they'll also be willing to adjust your plan as your goals evolve. For instance, let's say you want to shift your focus from retirement savings to real estate investing after a few years. Your advisor should be adaptable enough to change your strategy accordingly. And if they're not, that's a problem. The bottom line is that they should never make you feel like you're getting a one-size-fits-all solution. Lastly, let's talk about accountability. Trustworthy advisors are accountable for their actions, period. Let's say your portfolio isn't performing well, or maybe there was a significant drop in a particular stock they recommended. A responsible advisor won't shy away from discussing it. In fact, they'll reach out to you before you even have to ask. For example, if the market took a dive, your advisor should be proactive. They should call you, explain the situation, and let you know what their plan is to manage it. They should never make you feel like you're in the dark. And if they only contact you once a year during tax season or when it's time to collect their fee, that's not accountability. One way to test this is to ask your advisor, how often will we communicate? Or if things go wrong, how will I know? You should feel reassured that your advisor is prepared to stand by their recommendations and adjust if needed. So, to sum it all up, trust is something that needs to be both earned and maintained. A truly trustworthy advisor will show transparency in fees and recommendations, will align with your goals and adapt over time, and will hold themselves accountable especially when things get tough. If you have an advisor who checks these boxes, congratulations, you're working with someone who likely has your best interests in mind. But if not, don't be afraid to ask questions. And if necessary, make a change. Remember, this is your financial journey, and it deserves to be supported by someone who values your goals as much as you do. Thanks for joining me today on If the Public Only Knew. Next time, we'll take a closer look at the behind the scenes work that great advisors do to keep your financial plan running smoothly. Until then, keep asking questions, stay informed, and remember that a good advisor won't just talk about trust, they'll prove it.